Welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals, home of Flub Nation. We are still in the off season, so we're gonna be spinning the wheel and figuring out what we're doing. With me today is Salt. What's up, man? It's just us two for today. How's it going?
Just you and me. It's going good.
For
I'm ready to talk movies.
Yeah, for once we can actually like unequivocally say it's a good morning, you know? Like normally it's all three, you know? One of us is it's the morning, one of us is like the afternoon, one of us is nighttime, and it's like
Hmm.
weird. Weird that it's one
Uh,
statement here.
yeah, we've been constrained to one time zone. So what are we doing here today?
So we are going to do a good old random look at what's left on our list. We're almost done with all our topics for the off season, so um, we actually had Lance still spin the wheel because he has it. He made the wheel and he has it in his browser. So he spun it, and we got fourth movies, which was a topic we discussed, I think, after an episode one day in our group chat, like trying to come up with an idea. And
I was not there for that.
oh, okay. So it's fourth movies. It's fourth movies. Like as a concept. If I just say fourth movies, what do you think, Saul? What do you think of?
I think I think something that's probably gone on too long. Uh, yeah, I mean, fourth movie can mean a couple things, I guess, but yeah, that's my first impression. A franchise that's gone on too long. What do
I
you
think that's
think?
fair. I think that's fair. Franchise that's gone on too long is pretty good. Um, I mean, as a reaction to that, I think of series that um, hmm, that maybe got a second life. You know, maybe. I mean, and then also, you know, there's just like franchises where maybe they're not numbered entries, but there are more than four of them, right? I mean, um, I don't know if Kamen Rider does this. I don't know if Toku does this. Godzilla. We'll go with Godzilla. Godzilla has far more than four movies.
Yeah.
As a franchise, they maybe aren't all related. You know, most of them probably aren't canon to each other. But it's just like
No, of course not.
it's a long thing though. You know, like four is it's interesting. Like it seems so much longer than three. It seems like
Well,
why'd
yeah.
you go with another one?
Okay, so I have this preconception in my head that maybe doesn't make sense, and this will be good for me to shake. This episode can help me shake it. When I hear fourth movie, I automatically preconceive of a trilogy that then got a fourth movie, right? But
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, it was always something that was meant to go beyond, far beyond the three or four films, right?
Yeah. And I think when we were initially talking about it, we were talking about that case, right? Where there's an
Hmm.
isolated trilogy, and then there's a fourth tacked on that's just like, why does this even exist? Right?
Yeah.
But then we kind of we got more into it, and it's like, I mean, the fourth Harry Potter is a fourth movie. That was never there was no intention that three would be the end. There's no intention that four was gonna be the end. And then there's movies that it's just like there's not even an isolated trilogy. You know, it's just like there was one successful movie, and then they kept making movies.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's interesting. I don't know. I think just as a concept, as a franchise concept, um, are there any fourth movies that you can think of that you're just like, actually, I'm happy this franchise has four?
Yeah, I'll go back to our own our own shows we've done. I have a real fondness for Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
We talked about
Hell yeah.
how bonkers it was, and there's a lot of it that is objectively crap, but it's still a movie I like. Uh,
Yeah.
I think it's a good case study in what a fourth movie can be. Like it is where you get to reinvent the wheel to a certain extent.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I think Alien in the Alien franchise in particular, it like that franchise is just so weird in terms of, well, it was weird at that point, right? 1 and 2 are so similar. They're definitely of a kind, and then like ever since then, it's sort of do what you want with it. So I think that works out in its favor a lot. It's funny though, because I think of fourth movies and I'm like mostly bad. I think
yeah, no, that's very fair.
One of them that I think of, right, the YA movies splitting their last one into 2. So like Breaking Dawn Part 1. Actually, I saw both the Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2 in theaters this year, which are the 4th and 5th Twilight movies, based off the 4th book. And it's funny because the way they split the book up, all of the character resolutions happen in Part 1, and then Part 2 is just like plot resolution overall, right? So like Bella's story in Twilight is about like eventually her becoming a woman and like gaining personhood, right? Like 3 books are all about her wanting to become a vampire of her own will, basically. I mean, infatuation and romance and stuff like that too, but she like wants that to happen. She wants to make that happen, and that happens at the end of Breaking Dawn Part 1. So there's like nothing to do with her, really. It's like tying up loose ends with her family and figuring out what the whole rest of her life looks like in Part 2. And like that's interesting to me because I think I enjoy Part 2 more. More cool stuff happens. It's more visceral. It's more entertaining. But Part 1 is the actual like meat of the thing, and so it's weird. It's a weird thing. I think that might be my favorite fourth movie. I don't know. The other option is like the Hunger Games movies, which I'm trying to remember. I think there's 4 of those, not counting the prequel.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that the Twilight books, there's 3 Twilight books and the
4.
3rd book? Oh.
There's 4, so they split the 4th one into 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying the 4th movie is the first half of the 5th book. Or, sorry, the 4th movie is the first half of the 4th book. There we go.
So that's a good example of a 4th movie to you.
Yeah. It's a weird example too. Yeah.
I think I see it though. Let's turn it the other way. What's the most egregious example to you of a bad 4th film?
I'm gonna put on my child clothes right now, and I think Toy Story 4 is the worst one. I think it's so stupid. It's so dumb, and I know people like dislike the 3rd one for the nostalgia pulls that it does. And I think it works because it came out when it came out, right? Like nostalgia culture wasn't as disgusting as it is now. And like it was a movie. It's a franchise that existed across like 18 years also, so it kind of makes sense to be wistfully looking back at babyhood, you know. Why did 4? What? Like I watched that movie not for any good reason, and why does it exist?
Well, 2 things. I like the 3rd one merely for the fact that it's like a big opportunity to clown on John Lasseter. I think that's great. They just have that bear in there to be like, yo, our boss sucks.
Yeah, that's sick.
So I respect that immediately. The 4th one, you can tell me what you think about this theory. I think the 4th one was on some level supposed to be passing the franchise on to like new characters. Does that make sense? Is that what they did? I didn't actually see it.
Okay, so like the answer to that question is no, because it's no because so many of the existing characters are still going like to be there. You know, they really only get rid of Woody in 4. So like Buzz, Jesse, Rex, like all the other toys could. Yeah. A new story could be all about those. Which, I mean, okay, you're getting rid of the lead. Yeah, but like, that's not that much. You're not doing that much. Yeah. And then you know, I get into this cycle of like, by Toy Story 4, it was the nostalgia cycle was becoming annoying, right? It was becoming gross.
Is that Toy Story 4 is like one of its greatest sins? Is just how much it relies upon nostalgia.
Well, the thing is, like, Disney clearly is intending for millennial parents to feed their children the same stuff they ate, right? Like,
Right.
Disney Plus exists as a catalog of here are your favorite things, 30-year-old. Now you have a child. Make sure they watch those things, and now they're hooked up to the IV2, right? And I think 4 existed as an introductory point for those kids in that same way. So it's like we have a new generation of fans, and that's what's cynical about it to me, most. It's like get that pump set up now, and then you have your everything app for the rest of forever.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a less dramatic sounding word, but I would call that indoctrination.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, maybe not as serious as it could be, but I mean it is. It's fandom indoctrination.
Yeah, you went into that movie expecting it would be garbage, right? Or did you actually think like, it might be good?
No, I mean it was probably better qualitatively than it could have been, for sure. Like there is a story there. It's not like Deadpool,
a Toy Story.
Wolverine. Yeah, it's a Toy Story. It is.
Deadpool Wolverine. That's a third movie, unfortunately.
That's a third movie. Yeah.
Otherwise, I could just talk about how much I hate that movie.
I feel like we could count if you could count it as X-Men though. It's probably like 7. So even more
least,
doesn't really work.
Another Marvel movie that I can hate on given this context is Thor 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see that?
Hate shine. I did. I think I watched it in theaters actually.
Oh wow. Okay, why did you see that in theaters?
I like Thor 3. Is the answer.
So you like Thor 3, and you're like, okay, maybe this will be like Thor 3. Is that what the thought process was?
Yeah, same guys. I think I don't think Yost wrote 4, so I think that's the big difference. Was one writer was not on 4 that was on 3.
See, I do not like Taika Waititi for a variety of reasons. I really liked Taika Waititi when the third one came out, and I think
there we go.
If I still watched the third one, I would probably still mostly like it. I think there's a lot it gets right within the context of Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. I could not finish the fourth one though. I started it and had to turn it off. It was crazy how slapdash it felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks really bad.
Yeah, it looks bad. It's written really poorly. Like there's a bunch of criticisms that one could make of 3 that are well deserved, but it feels pretty intentional. You cannot say that about this fourth one.
The fall off of the MCU, people talk about it a lot, and a lot of people, more smug people, I'll say, we're already on that wagon. By the time Ragnarok came out, they were already like, it's washed. This whole franchise is washed. Pack it up. It's done. And like looking back now, I think there's a lot of stuff. The bad stuff in 4 is present in 3. But 4 doesn't even look like a movie. And I feel like that was around the point where it was just like, you guys, what's even being made at this point?
Yeah. What would you say was present in the third one that ended up like being as bad in the fourth one?
I mean, I think especially like Taika is a really interesting choice as a director for these movies, right? He's not an action superhero director in any way. Yeah. Like on any level. It's not even just that he has no experience with it. He has no interest in doing that. And so I cannot think of like a single point in Thor 3 that looks good, visually.
Yeah, I think the thing that he gets right, that a lot of the sort of journeymen or greener directors they hire, is he does have an understanding of how to integrate some VFX. Like that's the criticism I've seen of Ryan Coogler for Black Panther 3. That's a very fair criticism. Is he did not know how he would integrate the effects, and there's parts of that criticism that are fair. There are parts of that criticism that are not fair, but those effects look just pasted on. They do not look like they
Okay.
belong in that movie. I think there are some shots in Thor 3 that like are objectively really pretty. Like the that one Valkyrie flashback shot.
Oh yeah, that is sick. And they like
Yeah, that
invented
looks
something. They invented a rig or something to do
yeah, it
that,
was like a
right?
new lighting rig. Like that looks
Yeah,
really cool.
it does
There's
look really
things
cool.
like that where it's like I can say parts of this are a good looking film. There's a
Yeah,
lot
you're
of it
right.
with the usual CG slop, of course.
I just also like, and not even that this can't be good, right? It does. This criticism annoys me. So, but when I picture the movie, it's like everybody's in the middle of the screen, and cool stuff might be happening around them, but it's just like kind of boring, kind of a boring setup. Like so much of that
Yeah.
final fight is literally just it's various one-on-ones on the Rainbow Bridge,
Right.
like running at each other. And this is Thor 3, right? And like it's boring. Like it's cool in the moment on a screen, on like a good screen, well lit room and everything. Like, oh, that's cool. But I do get why people call it bland.
It is, and it's the parking lot problem that those
Yeah.
movies
Yeah.
suffer from. Like Ant-Man 3 is like the worst example. Like just everything could have been in a parking lot. There's no thought to how anything could have been arranged beyond that. So are
Did you
you
watch?
saying that what
Go
Ant-Man
ahead.
3?
Yeah.
Parts of it.
Okay.
It's like an
I've
endurance test. I
I
turn on
haven't
these
even.
movies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just go, how long am I gonna make it? And then I just turn it
do
off
you,
when I can't do it anymore.
do they get the three try test too, or
What's the
you
three
just
try
give up when you
test?
give up? You said, what was this about? I don't remember what movie it was we were doing, but a movie will get three tries out of you. If you get too annoyed and you turn it off, then you'll come
So
back to
three
it.
tries in that context. When I say I
Yeah,
give a
yeah,
movie
yeah.
three tries, I'm willing to turn it on again after time has
Yeah.
passed.
Oh,
But
okay.
but but no, that's not in the same session.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so all right, so people are gonna be furious. They're gonna be so angry if we don't stay on topic. So what do I have to ask you?
Okay.
Are you saying that the reason the action looks static and dull in Thor 3, they have that same problem in Thor 4?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's worse though, right? I
Okay.
mean, the volume made things a lot worse in all of these Marvel movies,
Yeah.
because there's the implication of space, and like they still use it the same way, and they can't use it. You can't strafe. Like it doesn't work good. So they still end up running at each other in just a more fake looking thing that's lit worse. So like yeah, it's the same problems but worse. And I think it pointed out some of those problems too. Like Thor 4 was just so bad that like it spread its hate to Thor 3. It's like the knock on effect for that Land doesn't like Rom V comics anymore because of Venom.
Wait, what do you mean knock on effect?
Like I mean, I think a knock on effect is just like it's like the Newton balls or whatever. One thing hits another thing and it spreads the badness
Oh,
to it in this
okay,
metaphor,
right.
in this bad metaphor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember I watched the beginning with Christian Bale in this like goofy
Mm-hmm.
alien costume. And I know I watched some of like Thor after that, like Thor himself, but like I really can't remember anything that happened. I do remember a scene with like Thor in Zeus's court, and I remember that
Yeah.
looked so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny. This is a fourth film. Star Wars Episode 1 has a a court scene, like
Oh yeah,
with
the
Palpatine
Senate.
addressing everybody, the Senate, and
Yeah.
I think that actually looks good, and so it's amazing that 20 some odd years later that we're doing a similar setup in a movie with a bigger budget, and it looks so much worse.
Yeah, it's really frustrating not knowing how they're failing at using their budget, because the Star Wars movies are ridiculously expensive. All of them were. They all went over budget. They all went over time. They all were being rewritten on there. Like all of the problems that the MCU movies could, like a lot of the MCU movies don't even have the same problems that the Star Wars
Right.
films did. You know, like a lot of them are like on competent timelines and stuff like that. But it's like you could have had a dude paint a background and it would have looked 50 times better than this. And it's crazy. Like it's a lot more work. There's a lot more labor. And those people and like, you know, geez, what's the company? ILM. Like ILM slowly made actual craftsmen not have jobs anymore across the 90s and 2000s basically, right? Like as shifted into computer stuff. And so like in actuality those guys to get a guy to paint something like that, it's going to be like ridiculously expensive and probably make the movie more expensive than it is. But even still, like show off the budget is my thing, and I think that's been like a definitive phrase for the last like 3 years, where it's just like you have huge budgets, and nobody can tell what you're actually spending that money on.
Yeah, I mean, that I'll share with the listeners my crank theory that they're making the movie look bad on purpose. But it could also just be sloppiness. I'm willing to admit that.
Okay, wait, why is it bad on purpose? You gotta finish the conspiracy.
Well, if you make the movie look bad on purpose, then people will go to expect like more bad things, right?
Yeah.
Now, I guess the other half of this I should mention is I assume most movies are like money embezzling schemes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you can make the movie look bad on purpose and embezzle more money, then it's like it's a huge win.
Yeah, that's got to be part of it. I do agree with that part of the conspiracy. I mean, and I feel like art has been that through quite a bit of time. Like rich people, by and large, art is financed by rich people, and even whether they get a return or not, it's like they're just trying to do something with their money. Really, they're laundering it or whatever. They want some amount of money to be accounted so they could get another loan for a house or whatever. So like that makes sense. Yeah. Because these budgets are like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
All right. So here's a fourth movie that I mentioned in passing, but now we got to get into, because you're the pod's resident Star Wars guy.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes.
So episode 1, what do you got for us? I would start you with, what do people get right about that movie, and what do people get wrong about that movie?
I mean, Star Wars Episode 1 is probably the first movie I remember. I don't remember. I know I went to the theater like 7 times. People brought me to see it like 7 times. I was a tiny child. I think I was like 4.
I gotta stop you there, because saying people brought you 7 times makes you sound like an unwilling participant.
I don't know if I was. I don't have memories. So I assume I did, though. I assume
you're gonna see this movie, kid. You're gonna like it.
I mean, it was like probably some of the only words I said that whole time. Just like, I'm gonna, more.
More.
So I don't remember seeing it. But it's probably the movie I've had the most opinions on in my life, because like there was a period of time I hated it. There was a period of time where I thought it was the worst of all the Star Wars movies. Now I think it's the best of the prequels. I don't think it, depending on the day, I'll say it's better than Return of the Jedi even, because there's a lot of craftsmanship in that movie. Like it's an actual movie. There's a lot of it that's really boring. Even still, but when I was a kid and now, I'm just like, there's good chunks of that movie that are boring. And so like, I don't know. I think Star Wars viewers, not even fans, I think Star Wars opinion havers are reactive, in a really gross way, including myself, where people's initial reactions form the counter reactions, and then Star Wars exists. That one's been around for over 20 years, for 25 years almost. No, for 25 years. And as opinions change, then people's reactions to those opinions change. So I don't know. I've pretty much solidified on like I think it looks really good. The reaction really affected the following movies a lot, and I also think George Lucas hides behind I made these movies for kids as a way to avoid criticism, like deserved criticisms. So like I don't know. That's kind of my broad view of the movie. I like it though. It's one I'm more willing to watch than like I hate Attack of the Clones. I think that it's a garbage movie that nobody should like. But yeah, I mean, it does go to what you were saying initially that like oftentimes fourth movies are trying to like put a spark of life back into a franchise, trying to bring it in a new direction, and I think that's really respectable that he didn't go for a lot of nostalgia pulls. Like the midichlorian stuff is so stupid, but it is different. You know, the Senate stuff is boring, but it's different. And I mean, I think that's why it's people have grown an appreciation for it because it is trying new things, and it is like it's not just relying on the people who are going to show up.
Yeah, I saw some lefty type person posting like how like under capitalism these studios don't want to make good art like that's not the objective, and so they hire people often who don't want to make good art or people who are at least willing to let go of wanting to make good art to work for a system that will produce bad stuff. It's all about calculated profit margins, right? And and I say that in response to the midichlorian because people like hate the midichlorians, but the thing is like I think you can argue it is good art. Like it's at least soulful art. Like
it is.
Like I've read interviews with Lucas where like to him the whole point of the first three movies was to get to the point where he could start getting into like Jedi biology and that is inspired. You can hate it, you can think it sucks, but you're absolutely right that he was not going for nostalgia pulls by and large. He's like, I want to talk about midichlorians because once we've established midichlorians, I can finally start to talk to you about wills. Like that really mattered to him, right? In that sense, it's fully the opposite of the MCU. Like when the MCU came out, like I was the ideal kind of fan. I would completely logic away any sort of story contradictions. I believed everything Kevin Feige told me, that there was a plan, that this all was leading somewhere. And it's not. They just completely changed it with each installment. But like Lucas had an internal consistency and wanted to go somewhere. So it was a shot in the arm. He did want to revive the franchise, but he was telling the story he truly wanted to tell.
Yeah, I again not a fourth movie, but it is topical. The hit film of the summer, Megalopolis. Like the comparison to the prequels is extremely apt. It looks like it, at least 50% of the time, it looks like it could have came out at the same time as Attack of the Clones. Like so much about it is so informed by it, and yeah, it's the same kind of thing where it's like this is art. Like I'm watching this, and this is a thing that a person wanted to make and did that. Like they did it, you know. And yeah, I think that's also where a lot of the appreciation for the appreciation and reevaluation of the prequels ended up there. It is because you look at these franchise films now that are almost all the MCU, and they're empty, they're soulless, they're just like corporate slop. And like Lucas fought so hard to be able to have control of Star Wars with the original trilogy, and that was not even just for money. He wanted the money so that he could have creative control over everything everything ever like that he wanted to make. So like yeah, making bad movies was absolutely his goal, and you know, good for him. Love to see it.
Like, making bad movies was absolutely his goal is such a good line. I love that.
He was going for it. He really that was heart's desire.
Let no one say the man did not want to make bad movies.
Yeah. You're wrong. You're wrong if you say that. Morally and logically.
See, that's what I wanted to get into a little bit too with Lucas, is like that weird period of time where we briefly touched on this in another episode, but that weird period of time where like Star Wars fanboys went feral in response to their prequel expectations, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. Like, they were mad that he wanted to make bad movies, but now in the 20 years later we can realize, oh no, he wanted to make bad movies, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's so that whole cycle is so stupid because, like, I mean, genuinely, and I love all the George Lucas Star Wars movies, but like J.J. Abrams made a better Star Wars movie than like 70% of George Lucas's, arguably. And
With his
The
new
Force
trilogy?
Awakens.
Okay.
With just the first movie. And like, it's so funny that people are like, bring back George. And I'm like, yeah, I want to see what his insane brain says too. I do. I want to see what crazy movie he makes, because it's probably going to be like more racist than Megalopolis, and probably hate women a little bit less than Megalopolis. Like, but like, like, I want him to make bad movies, but like, there's no argument that he would make a better movie than Force Awakens, to me at least. Like, I don't think you can argue that. Even like the soulfulness, because like J.J. Abrams loves that. I can tell he loved making that movie, and like, even if, I don't know, I have differing opinions on that thing, but it's just so funny. It's so weird. The culture is awful and great, and I want one more George Lucas movie. I just, maybe his brain's too bad for that.
I really think like he would have done it for life, but Star Wars fans being annoying it was him going, you know what? I did it. I did 6 movies. I spawned a massive empire. I can step back.
Yeah, I mean, and he had let go of so much control in the 80s and 90s in terms of books and stuff. He knew if he ever wanted to make a movie, he was just going to ignore them anyway. But he still, I think he had already kind of let go of some of it, and he was letting so many people run it anyway, that I don't think it was a big difference. He just, I mean, you know, he goes to set. We've seen pictures of it. He's friends with Dave Filoni, or at least Dave Filoni sends him pictures and he likes them or whatever, you know. So he's
you know what I can't stop thinking about in relation to the prequels was the Patton Oswalt rant about like time traveling to kill George Lucas. Do you remember this one?
Yeah. I think you posted it not that long ago, or something.
I did.
I don't know. You referenced it maybe in the group chat.
Yeah, I referenced it, but yeah, like that was like he wasn't the only one to do that kind of thing, and it's like saying like, I'm gonna kill this guy. Like the title of that joke is, at midnight I will kill George Lucas with a shovel. Like, it's so crazy, like how people reacted back then to these prequels turning out like different than they thought. Like, and you know, I thought that kind of humor was really funny at the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like part
crazy.
of it is because you don't have Lucas type figures in film anymore. Like, Lucas is very different than, like, say, Feige. Like, no one feels that way about Feige. Like, people hate him. People like, yeah, this dude sucks. But like, no one thinks he was at one point great. Like, he was always crap.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, I don't know. I think about this a lot with comics too, where critical perception shifts so quickly on a creator. And it just happens now all the time with artists, where one day they're a critical darling and then they put out something that's not liked, and now it's just like, boom,
They
they're not good. And it's
die.
like, yeah, well, they also, I feel like they didn't have long enough at the top the way these like well-established people from the 70s, 80s, even 90s of being just like a dominant. Okay, they're great. And then so like Taika is a good example where it was like he was a critical darling across like a good part of a decade, right? And then one stinker brought up, I mean, one like legendary stinker.
He had a few stinkers.
Yeah. He brought up, but it brought up like all the haters, and it was so quick. Like that flip happened, and it was just like, he's poisoned now. Even things that people loved, things that people raved about to you. Jojo Rabbit. People were like, "This is an incredible film. This could be film of the year." I think it won an Oscar, or it was up for an Oscar, one of those two. And then like Thor 4 hits, and there's people who are just like, "Is anti-Semitic. He hates Jews. How dare he?" Like, and all that sentiment was there, but it wasn't the driving force of the conversation. And now it is. Now it's like hard to argue for Taika. Not that I will or want to, but like, I don't know. It's really interesting. I feel like people don't get to be established long enough for the backlash to like not matter anymore.
Well, I do see parts that I don't know if Taika's the best example.
Great example. Yeah, that's fair.
Because he, like, I truly do think he is a hack, and I just think he was better at hiding it than a lot of other hacks. Like, a lot of hacks have like 2 or 3 tricks, and Taika had like 4 or 5, and you can cycle through those tricks a little bit longer before people start to notice, oh, those are just the same tricks again and again and again.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I can come up with counterexamples to that too. Like one director who has maintained his stature to the point where if he made a something as bad as Attack of the Clones, there wouldn't be consequences. And I think, and Christopher Nolan, right? Like he could make a couple actually bad movies, and I think his reputation would be maintained. Yeah, but like really. Really bad.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, what's the worst movie?
What are the bad ones?
Nolan.
Oh,
yeah.
I could not finish Dark Knight Rises. That was so boring.
Damn.
I'm also I don't like the Dream one, Inception.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't finish that one either.
See, Inception's a big hit though, so that's you. That's you.
Oh, I'm the outlier for sure, and I think like he works with I think the thing that proves your theory right is like he works with a broad enough type of talent and genres that like he can do something bad, and if he does something bad, people go, well, he's doing something different there, and you can't disagree with that. He does like try different things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would like Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But I respect that he's doing something different than he did with other movies.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd like Oppenheimer either. I think it's too boring for you.
It sounds real boring.
Boring movies I have to see in the theater. I think there's not, but I like it a lot. If I go and see a boring movie in the movie theater, I'm like, oh, that was like I was engaged the whole time because there's nothing to engage with other than the screen. So like I can't play with my cat or pick up my phone or anything if I'm in the movie theater.
You gotta deal with it. You gotta pay attention.
Gotta lock in. And I think I'm just at that point. I either lock in or I fall asleep. So R.I.P. Dune Part 1. Okay. We strayed very far from fourth movies, but I do have one more that I don't even know if you've seen.
Okay, hit me.
Okay. The Matrix 4. Resurrections or whatever. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Because I have not. I actually just watched the first Matrix again, first time in over 10 years, because Kendra hadn't seen it. And Kendra was like, this is kind of hokey. And I'm like, okay. It is. But
first of all, she's right.
Yeah, I know. But that's a good thing. And she's like, I don't know. But I still haven't watched the fourth one because I don't think I ever need to. But what's up with the fourth one? Is it like, what are your thoughts on that fourth movie?
Don't like it. Don't like it a lot. And I was a bit sickened by the fan reaction to it. There was this, I don't know how to describe this feeling, but you don't really like you don't really care for Zack Snyder stuff, right?
Oh no! I hate all his
Yeah.
stuff. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
I
a better
remember
word for it.
we talked about this with the fake Star Wars movie he did.
Yeah,
I
they're
just needed to-
boring.
Yeah.
They're not good. Otherwise, yeah.
There was this weird thing as the MCU was starting to crumble that like people started going, hey, actually, like Zack Snyder's really good, and it was like, what? Like, do you guys really think this? And that's what happened with Matrix 4. Is people were like, oh, yeah, I know this looks stupid and shitty, but actually, it's cool that it's stupid and shitty. Like, it's just baffling. Like, did you see the same movie I saw? Did you see the lack of craft? Because, like, to Kendra, I would say, is this hokey? Sure, but it was also so influential, and it cannot be understated how to this day action movies are still pulling from that first Matrix. Like, there were so many trends that first Matrix started, for better or for worse, mostly for worse because everyone ripped them off. But like that movie did cool stuff that looked cool. Like it's stuff that aged really well. Like all the bullet time, all the wire work, like all that stuff looks great to this day because of just the craftsmanship on display. You cannot say that for the fourth movie.
So, like, what craftsmanship was lacking there? Was it choreography? Was it like, did it have to do with more digital stuff that's newer, and that was just like, this doesn't really mesh with the.
There's like. Okay, have you seen that meme of Vin Diesel and The Rock in The Fast and the Furious, and the aspect ratios are all wrong? They're like clearly filmed at different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a scene with that, with like Neo and Neil Patrick Harris, and they're moving at different frame rates, and there were people arguing that like, oh, that's like really intentional. It's like, is it? Like, this doesn't look done, and like a lot of it was like that way. Like they had him kind of like glitching out, but it was like YouTuber special effects,
Oh, okay.
Like there was one scene where I started getting hype. Like they recast Mr. Smith, and he's like fighting Neo in this like sewer, and he's like punching columns again because it is a nostalgia bait movie. But like the column punching looked cool, and I was like, oh tight. So like we're gonna do something with that, and then like that was it. Like nothing else really like hit that level. Like it's just, it doesn't look like a movie the way the first Matrix does. Does that make sense when I say it like that? Yeah. Like, and I can't remember a lot of it. I don't remember a lot of what happened at the end. A lot of it just felt inconsequential. I think another weird thing about that movie is like why so many people are not there. Like, I don't understand why Lawrence Fishburne isn't in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was telling Kendra, like, I haven't seen it. I have no real interest in it. The reactions to it are very weird, and like people whose opinion I don't care about really liked it, and so that tells me like I am probably not gonna like it. and I was like, one of the weirder things is like, yeah, Morpheus got recasted, and I'm like, I don't really understand why. People say there's like a meta reason or whatever, there's an explanation I've seen in a tweet thread or whatever, of like, why this is meaningful.
You saying that made me remember the other thing that is so annoying in this movie is Morpheus in like the real world can turn into a machine man.
Oh, what?
It was really weird that this old franchise that supposedly had all these deep statements to make is like, and now Morpheus is going to use his arm cannon.
Yeah.
So goofy. Like, and it's really bad CG
like,
too. Yeah, it was like that. It was exactly like that, like Cyborg or whatever. Oh, they also, what's her name? Jada Pinkett Smith. Remember, she's in the sequels. They have her in the most horrendous old lady makeup, like college play level old lady
Oh
makeup.
no.
So to see like fake Morpheus turning into a transformer and then it's like fake old lady Jada Pinkett Smith, you start to feel insulted at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like they think you're not gonna notice how cheap this all looks.
Yeah, and I mean, I do, like, again, not having watched it. I can see the argument of like, look, they knew the first one was hokey, and you know that's part of the charm, and now, but it's just like, but the basic craft was always there, especially if you're just comparing it to the first one. And I think that's one of the things with fourth movies, like this one. I think there's a high occurrence of comparing it to the first one rather than comparing it to the third one. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's like we just have learned to think in terms of trilogies so much that it's like, well, fourth movie is the first of a new trilogy.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, like the third one is often where you've strayed the furthest, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's the theory that goes something like the sequel is where you go darker, and the third one is where you can go as big as you want and even go in some different directions. I don't know if I think that's always true, but I think you can graft that onto a lot of movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But
Yeah,
if you use the go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was.
Well, even if you use the Matrix, like I quite like the third one. The like there's problems with it. Like I don't care about the siege of Zion land. What Zion, is that what it's called?
I think it's just Zion. Yeah, Zion
Yeah,
Land is kind of hilarious.
a different
It's
place.
it's a theme park, Zion Land, where pedophiles go.
I don't care about any of that stuff, right? But I do
Yeah.
like the setup of Neo being this like wanderer, and he's kind of like cast down into hell. Like there's these like biblical themes that I really fuck with. And then that final fight with Smith is still poetry to me. Like there's so
It's
much
real
cool
cool.
stuff in there, and the practical parts especially. Like the CG aged, it looks goofy. I'm fine with it, but the practical stuff with the Smith fight is so sick looking.
Yeah, even then, I really like what I picture in my head. Right, if I haven't watched the first one in 10 years, I probably haven't watched the third one in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like forever, and I've watched it less than any of the other ones too, I think. But the image I have in my head of the CG Smiths is cool because, again, like it might not look good, but like a copy of a copy looking bad is kind of sick. Like that's a cool visual of
Yeah.
the other ones looking like worse. It's a computer, blah blah blah, whatever. Like that works for me. And that's one of those like maybe it was intentionally not good things that ends up supporting the theme. But yeah, I mean the iconic part of all that too, right? Like think of the like when he meets the architect, right? That's in 3, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, we've become very efficient at whatever. That's like a meme that is used all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like the cultural impact of the whole trilogy is insane. And like, I don't even know what Keanu Reeves looks like in that movie, in the fourth one. Like, there's not a single thing. That movie came out like 3 years ago.
He looks like do you know who Jeff Tiedrick is?
I don't. No,
He's like he's this like lib poster who's always like saying like, "Oh, Mango Mussolini." Like he looks like. Never mind.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Some brain rot person will know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, his Twitter bio is "Don't blame me. I voted for the email lady." So I think
that's how
tells
Neo
you.
looks in that movie.
Okay. So like, but that's what I mean. I have no cultural idea of even like what the fourth is about, except for being against nostalgia bait movies. And that's from like a person who's very pro that movie, you know, like that's the only concept I have of it that carried on. And it's like, if I hadn't seen The Matrix, I would know a lot more about that movie than that, you know?
Right.
And so it's really interesting. And I mean, its release was terrible too, right? It did not get a wide release. It was dropped on HBO Max in the middle of COVID, and theaters were closed. And that's probably why a lot of people watched it and liked it more than they would have, because it was a new movie. But it also like released in this time period where the meta attempt at saying anything about nostalgia movies is like I taste vomit in the back of my throat. Like
the nicest thing I can say about that movie is I can't remember which of the Wachowskis worked on it, because only one of them was on it.
I think it was
the
Lily.
nice thing, Lily. The only nice thing I can say is Lily made that movie bad on purpose because she didn't want to make it, and if she could make it, then at least she could make something that she owned rather than letting someone else make a bad thing. I think that's crazy, but that's it's the only explanation I can come up with, and I respect that kind of stubbornness.
Yeah. Do you think does it like? I guess what I'm asking is, does that movie have artistic integrity?
No.
The way that Phantom Menace does? No.
No, I mean, I think it has artistic integrity in that it is a statement. It's that this is mine. No one else is going to get to touch this and make a feature out of this IP for Warner. This is mine. Like I think that's artistic integrity. Like that is, as a statement, sure. But like if I'm just talking about craft, if I don't know the people making it and I just watch the movie, there's no, it looks like ass. There's nothing really cool to look at. I told you that Morpheus turns into a transformer. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it seems like, and this is kind of a semantic line to draw, but it seems like the movie doesn't have artistic integrity because it was made at gunpoint, but Wachowski has artistic integrity because she decided to make the movie.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
It seems like that kind of makes sense. I get that argument. I don't. Anytime you need, development stuff to make sense of the movie, to make the movie good, it's like, it's not good.
Yeah, is it good? Yeah, you shouldn't have to like know all that stuff to enjoy the movie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Otherwise, I'm just being like you're being a pseudo. Like, I think if someone walks out of a movie like that and goes, "Damn, that sucked," and you say, "Well, did you know all this?" Like, then you're being and I feel like that's how everyone's response was, when it came out.
Yeah. I've talked about that. I've been yelled about that.
What did you get yelled at for?
It's Grant Morrison, because I'm like, and the conversation shifted from what I even, which that is what I was trying to say, is that like the people who love Grant Morrison are people who know not just what Grant Morrison is doing in their comics, like forever, but also like have a parasocial interest in all that too, right?
Dude, that is 1,000% accurate as someone who was like ready to take a bullet for Morrison like a decade ago.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even think that's bad. It's just the sort of thing where it's like you're calling a bad comic good because you, one, have a weird parasocial relationship with him, but two, because you know so much. Like, right. But ultimately, it's just like I don't know, like. His shooters are just crazy, right? Like they're just there's no wrong that can be written by Grant Morrison, and that's fine. I've learned to accept this, and accept that like there's stuff I really really like, and there's stuff I don't, and that's okay. But yeah, and
I don't think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Oh, I was just gonna add. I don't think you should have to complete a homework assignment in order to. Enjoy a movie or a comic book.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's like
if you want to, that's fine, but don't make other people's lack of enjoyment like hinge on the fact that they didn't want to do the homework,
Yeah, and then I mean, like we talked about it in the Multiversity episode, where it's like, maybe you do need to read Final Crisis and Action Comics and a third thing to get what's going on in Multiversity. But I also think that's the thing that people hide behind, where it's like, oh, I didn't like Final Crisis. Oh, did you read Seven Soldiers though? And it's like, yeah, I mean, I did, but like, even if I didn't, that shouldn't matter. Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like this weird piss contest. It's just like, all right, okay. And yeah, that's the same vibe. Though. It's the same vibe of that as people who are like, yeah, actually, it's good because of like the reasons you just said, which are cool reasons to create a thing. I think like it's not good, but like spitefully making a thing so that nobody else does is kind of sick. But it doesn't mean the thing's good.
Right. Well, I think we covered our bases for fourth movies.
Yeah. There's certainly fourth movies. They exist, you know. They're there, and I guess we'll definitively say that some are good and some are bad.
Who would have guessed that would have been our take?
Yeah. Maybe don't make them and maybe do. I don't know. I feel like I would take a stronger stance on second movies, because imagine the world where there were no sequels. Like, you're not allowed to make a sequel. That's yeah, I don't know. Like,
okay, I like that.
I like a fourth movie is emblematic of like too many sequels already. Why do you even need 3?
Right.
Why do you need 2? Say it in one. Dune Part 1. That's my challenge to you. Instead of being a bad movie, Dune Part 1, be one good movie.
You heard it here. You have 2 people who don't like Dune 1. If you liked Dune 1, then comment and tell us how wrong we are. Until then, follow us on the socials. You can yell at us on there. All the details are in the episode description. Sub to the Patreon if you agreed with our takes, which
Midnight
we know you did.
Patreon.com/Midnight Grappler Animals. Go there.
Go there. Listen, give us $1 or $2 a month, whatever you want.
$5.
And you know what? We are good about making episodes about things people want episodes about. So suggest something. We'll do it. And thanks for listening. And
Tastemakers grab bag. You got anything?
Oh gosh! Yeah, I totally got something.
You tossed it up right to me. It was perfect.
Yeah, of course. That was the plan the whole time. And because I'm so considerate and generous, I'll allow you to go first.
Oh, great. Perfect. Okay, I actually have 2 things. One is I finally watched Rebel Ridge. I made a list at work the other day. I was bored. I made a list of 2024 movies that I didn't watch, that I already knew I wanted to watch before they even came out. And so I'm working my way through them. Rebel Ridge was first. A side thing, my internet cut out in the last 4 minutes of the movie, and it took me 30 minutes to get my internet working again to watch the last 4 minutes of the movie, which was really frustrating, but I still really like the movie. I know Lan recommended it. He put it in the Tastemakers grab bag, but I'm going to do it again. Just like crazy good. I think the pacing and the suspense both were like, I don't even like, the pacing was sort of like an Ocean's movie in terms of okay, here's the thing that happens. Okay, here's the way the protagonists react to that thing, and here's another thing that happens. And here, it was almost like a heist movie. But the stress level I was feeling from what was happening, especially the back half of the movie, was so insane. And it was just like excellently done. Very, very, very good movie.
You said it's a little bit like Reacher, right?
Yeah, I called it Black Reacher, and I stand by it. I think so much of it too. I mean, like, Reacher is definitely more homies with the cops than Rebel Ridge is. Rebel Ridge is doing the opposite thing also. So it's like woke Reacher, but Black Reacher it rhymes, so it's funnier.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Netflix. I can watch it there.
Yeah, it's good. And then I do have a comic. It's a single issue. So there's this thing called the Horizon Experiment that Pishit Shot is doing, where he basically called up a bunch of like black and brown people to do comics. They funded the first issue of a bunch of 5 miniseries, I think. And the whole thing is pretty cool. It's a cool concept. It's that beautiful libertarianism image at work where it's like if these first issues sell well, they'll go to a full series. They're also not communicating at all if the first issues are selling well. So this might only be one issue. And that's okay. I think it's a pretty solid self-contained thing. It's called The Sacred Damned. It's like Muslim Hellblazer, and it rules. It's really, really good. It's drawn by Michael Walsh, who is just like a good horror artist. And then I don't even know the writer, but Pirzada. It's good stuff though. It's really good. Just single issues. I think it's $4 if you have a comic shop near you. Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot, and I read it this week because I'm also catching up on comics after reading bad comics for like 2 months straight. But those are mine. What about you, Sal?
This is really pretty. So is the writer Muslim?
I think so.
Okay.
Cool. She has I think it's a she. I don't know. They have a write up in the back of the book that talks about their feelings around being Muslim and
yeah,
all of
I see the
beliefs.
protagonist wearing a keffiyeh.
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but probably.
Yeah,
almost certainly. It's good. It's really good. I hope of the ones. I mean, I hope all of them get to be a series. I've only read the first 2 of the 5. The 4th one comes out next week, and I have the 3rd one. But they all seem like really cool pitches, and they seem like cool creators too. So cool comic.
Sick. I have just one recommendation for the grab bag for the people who are still listening. I am recommending Flow. This is an animated film that was released within the last couple weeks. I don't know if it'll still be in theaters. If you miss it in theaters, definitely watch it at home. This is an animated film about a cat who finds itself in a flooded world, and this cat is just trying to survive. And along the way, the cat makes friends with some other animals affected by the flood. There's no dialogue. It's really auteur cinema. Like the director is also the composer. It's Latvia. And it's all made out of Blender. So like, if you know, do you remember that meme that's like, I want shorter games with worse graphics? It's that. It's that, but the movie, like he looks like a little Nintendo Switch character. Like
that's awesome.
It's so lo-fi in certain ways, you know? I just adored this movie. It was so heartfelt and unique. I just need everybody to see it.
Did you see it in theaters or did you watch it at home?
I watched it in theaters, and I want to add one specific is it was all made in Blender. I don't know if you know.
You said that. What's Blender?
Blender's like it's like an app for making 3D models.
Okay.
And it's good, but it's not like the stuff that they're using it like Weta. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing that hobbyists use. That's
cool. I wonder how long that would take. It's like, so with Blender, how do they film it? Do they go like frame? I mean, it's not like a frame by frame, right?
That's a great question. I really don't know enough about Blender like as an app.
Insane. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm sure it's crazy how they did. I would love to watch it behind the scenes for this movie.
I'm a guy who's only ever seen Star Wars and thinks everything's like Star Wars. So for like season 3, I think, of Clone Wars on, they started building sets digitally and then filming them as if they were in a film, right? So they would like build they would stage everything, put the characters there, and then they would film it as if like with a camera, right? Which sounds insane.
A digital camera, like
not filming the screen, but filming it as if like there was a physical camera in the room and shifting it around the structure they built digitally.
Oh, that's really cool.
For a cartoon. It's nuts. I can't even fully conceptualize what that means.
Is that
right?
But the question is that different than the workflow that a lot of animated movies use? Yeah.
I don't know. because it could be the same, and they're just like, but also it was because Lucas only understands cameras, and so he's a little dumb maybe, but like it feels like similar to I don't know. And so that's kind of my question here is like, how do you do that in Blender? I have no idea. It's very interesting. That's the kind of thing I feel like
nerds sound off. We really want to know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cool rec though. That's an exciting thing.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think we covered all our bases. So thanks for joining us for Fourth Movies. And we did it, Joe.
Oh.
And keep on grappling.
As always.
Keep on grappling. Keep on grappling.